Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we have an interview in our interview series called The Immigrant Experience. So if you're a student of mine, you might already know my guest today, Zoraida. Zoraida is a student in my program New Sound and Beyond. And Zoraida has been through a significant shift in her English and mindset in the past few years, and it has been incredible to watch. Today I get a chance to talk to Zoraida, who shares her story as an immigrant, from immigrating from Nicaragua to the US when she was just 15 and didn't speak a word of English, to now speaking confidently to strangers as part of her job. She's going to share her story of overcoming challenges and learning to love her accent and embracing who she is in English. I cannot wait for you to get to know Zoraida in this beautiful and even emotional interview I had with her. Let's listen. Hi, Zoraida. How are you doing? It's so good to have you here.
Oh my God, Hadar, I cannot believe I'm here talking to you. I feel like I want to pinch myself just to make sure that I'm talking to you because uh, actually I manifested this day
Oh my
last
goodness.
year. Yes, I did.
Tell me more.
And it's it's beautiful how the universe, work. But last year, when I did the first round in New Sound, and you had the reunion with the members, remember? I
Of
was
course.
watching them, and I was like, oh my God, I have to be there one day. I don't know if I was gonna be alone or in a group, but look at me, look where I am
You're
right now. I'm talking
here.
to you. Yeah. So it's amazing how the universe has everything in place, and it's the perfect timing for me.
Amazing. And the reason why I wanted to get you on this podcast and video is because I feel you have gone through a really interesting transformation, both in terms of your English, but also your mindset. And in general, your story is so inspiring. And I feel like people are going to first get inspired, but also learn a lot from your experience and your story. So I wanted to use this platform for you to share it, and also to get to know you more. Uh,
Yes, sure. Yes, so I was born and raised in Nicaragua, and I lived there until the age of 16, 15 actually. I was almost
mhm,
16. I was 15 when I moved to the US.
mhm,
And my family and I, we all immigrated to the US.
mhm.
They wanted to have a better future for us. And that's how I came here. That's how my journey began here in America.
Was it
I
something that was planned, or all of a sudden you realize that you're moving to a different country?
It wasn't planned, but because my country at that time was going through a lot of political problems, tensions. So my brother at that time was 15 years old. So he was the first one who moved here, actually.
Oh
He
wow.
came here first.
Alone?
So alone, my parents, they sent him here because he was the main target. Boys were the main target for the government. So
Mm,
my
wow.
parents made the decision to send him to US. So he was living here with my uncles, and then like 8 months later, my father decided to also come here. So to be with him, and that's how everything started. They were working really hard. So to save money because life is very hard here in America, very hard.
Yeah.
So they were both, my brother was going to school, but he was also working a part-time to help my father, and they were both saving money to bring my mother and my siblings here with them.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
what was it like for a 15-year-old? That's how old you were when you moved?
I was 15.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was it like for a 15-year-old? Did you speak any English? Like, what was it like to move, to leave everything behind and move to a completely new country, culture, language?
Oh my God. So my story, Hadar, it's even more different
Mm,
because we came here illegally. So
mm,
we had to cross the Mexican border. So
wow.
we made that dangerous journey through Mexico. And I didn't know, at the moment, I was 15 years old, so I didn't know about the decision my parents made, but I had to listen to them. I
Yeah.
was only 15 at that time. So I, they made the decision that we should come here. My mom had a visa, the American visa, but I don't know why she assumed that we were not going to get the visa because we were three
Mm.
sisters. So they thought that maybe, our visa was going to be denied for some
She
reasons.
didn't
I
want
don't
to
know
take
why.
that chance.
She didn't want to take the chance. So they decided to, take that risk because that is like a very dangerous risk, to go through Mexico, cross the river and
Tell me
come.
about that journey.
Oh my God. So thank God we didn't have any problems. It was like back in 1988, 1989. So it's been a long time,
Yeah.
but things were different. Now it's a little more dangerous, but I know that we were scared. I mean, I was scared, but I never told my mom I was scared,
Mm.
but I was scared. But thank God nothing happened. We were safe and we made it to the border and we crossed the river. The river was dry, was empty, no water.
Wow.
And yeah, so we crossed the river to Texas, Brownsville, Texas, and that's how we came to US. They helped us. They were helping Nicaraguan citizens because of what was going on in my
Yeah.
country. So they gave us shelter, like a hotel and food and medicine, and we were like fine, at peace, at least that we made it to the other side.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah, yeah, I know
And
it
then
was
your
crazy,
journey started like in a
and
completely new
it
place.
was it was a new place to me. We probably waited at the hotel for 1 week because
Hmm.
I thought that my parents was gonna buy like a plane ticket, but he didn't. He bought the Greyhound tickets,
The bus
you know,
tickets,
the bus
yes. For
tickets.
those who don't know, yeah.
So yeah, so we had to take that journey of 24 hours, I think it was, or
Wow.
48. I don't remember, but it was a long, long trip drive
From Texas to
from
Florida
Texas to Miami.
to Miami.
So to
Florida.
Miami, and then we got to Miami. We reunited with my brother, my father. We were happy and excited because the whole family was together. And Miami was good to me because Spanish was spoken, so we didn't have any problem living in Miami. I mean, I was
Hmm.
like feeling like I was in my own country actually. My
Hmm.
problem was in school when they put me in school, and that's when everything changed.
Mm. Tell me
Yeah.
about that.
So I went to high school. My mother, she enrolled me and my sister in. My sister was 8 years old, so she was in first grade, I think, second grade.
Hmm.
And I went to high school, and my experience was not something that I was expecting. I didn't know any word in English, only
Wow.
maybe the basic, not even broken English, only thank you, the basic.
Yeah.
And that's when I experienced bullying
Hmm.
and everything that you can imagine.
So
Yeah.
people were making fun of you, and
Yeah.
what feelings come up right now for you?
Oh my God. The feeling of being rejected,
Mm.
feeling of not fitting in school. I didn't have the power of my language anymore. You know?
Mm.
So I felt like an outcast. And I have never experienced hate in my
Mm.
life. So that was something new to me because I was new in this country. I was a teenager, so I was going through all these physical changes and,
Wow. And you
having
want to
that.
be accepted as a teenager
Exactly.
in,
Yeah.
any way, regardless of the language or, yeah, and it's so
Yeah.
hard.
So it was hard because, and it didn't happen only to me, but it happens to a lot of my friends. We were all immigrants, and we were experiencing the same thing. So, I started to hate school.
Wow.
I was skipping school.
Hmm.
I was skipping classes because
Just to avoid the
I
social interaction.
just to exactly. So it was school was like hell for me.
Wow.
And I was skipping school, and my grades, were not the best, and I was a good student in my country. I was in a private school. I was a good student. So being here, being in high school, I think that changed me and into like a different person. I became more insecure, more shy. My fear was like growing and growing. I didn't believe in myself anymore. And that's when everything changed, and I didn't want to go back to school. But thank God I finished high school. I
Mhm.
graduated high school, but I never felt like I learned English in high school.
Yeah.
I never. It was like a different times back then. The teaching, the way they were teaching English was different. So even my English teacher was from my home country.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
and he will always be speaking Spanish all the time.
Wow.
So instead of English, so
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I learned any English in high school, but I graduated. I had to pass my exam, my English and my math. I studied really hard, and I still don't know how I did it, how I passed it, but I actually I had a higher score in math, but I did it. I graduated. And
Amazing.
I,
Good for
I,
you.
yeah, but it was an experience that every time I think about, it brings me back those memories that I don't want to, I don't want to remember anymore, but I can't.
So, and it is a part of your story and it has turned you into who you are. So, ultimately, it's hard to avoid those memories because they're a part of us. I have
I
a
know.
question because you are my student inside New Sound, and we talk a lot about mindset and limiting beliefs, right? Like beliefs that limit your full potential. What kind of beliefs does a teenage girl develops based on these experiences, being bullied and ridiculed and shamed for her English and not being like others?
Oh my God. My beliefs were like that I was not enough,
Hmm.
that I was not capable, that was that I was not a native speaker, that my English sucks, that, you know, everything bad was in my mind. Only negativity was in my mind, and that created a negative person in me because I didn't believe in myself, and I was always listening to these inner voices in my head telling me, "You're not enough. You're not gonna do it. You're not a native." So even if I was trying and trying, I was, for me, I felt like it wasn't enough. Never was enough.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was never enough. And that was
And
like a
and
belief that I have.
and when you have an experience, when you try to speak a language and that experience is traumatic, then this is associated with speaking or putting yourself out there. And I can imagine that there is like this fear of being or feeling the same traumatic experience when communicating in English. Did you avoid speaking English after high school? And
I didn't avoid, but it was difficult. It was very hard in Miami to actually, speak in English because
mm,
Spanish was spoken 24/7, even at work. So I was working at the Home Depot in customer service, and
mhm,
most of my customers were Latinos. So, every day I was speaking in Spanish all the time.
yeah,
And I wanted to practice because deep inside, this is what I wanted. I wanted to become fluent. I wanted to have a better accent. I wanted to speak like a native speaker. But that's when I was younger. Now I think I I don't care about that anymore. I feel happy to who I am right now, that, having an accent is not going to stop me, because I have my own voice and I have to love myself. This is who I am. I am an immigrant, and I have to love myself first. I don't care
Yeah.
about having the best accent or anything like that.
And this is something that is it rather new, or is it rather
Yeah,
new?
it's new, and I think that everything changed since after I joined New Sound. For sure, last year when I joined New Sound, I think that I was a different person. I was speaking in English, but I didn't have the confidence that I have now. I practice, of course, my English here with my sons, but it's not the same, because sometimes it's not the same, because having a community like Beyond or New Sound is different.
I wanna talk about what you just like mentioned a little bit. So you have three sons, and they're they speak English since that's their
Yeah,
first language. Do you
yeah.
feel sometimes that they tease you, or they um comment on your English?
Oh my God, all the time.
All my students who have children
all,
learning
all the
speakers tell
time.
me
I
that.
mean,
Okay.
so my first two sons, they were born in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, their first language was Spanish,
Mm-hmm.
because they grew up with my mom and my dad. We were living together. I was a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
and Spanish was spoken in the house 24/7. So that was, their native language, actually. So yeah, when they started school and they were learning English, now everything changed. So I think that I was also learning English when they were going to school, because everything that they were learning, I was also learning, but I was not speaking. I was not practicing my
Yeah.
English.
Yeah.
So I was just helping them with homework and school. But they were always like making fun of me. Like if I say something wrong, and I will take it very personal. And, I never say anything to them, but I didn't like it. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it, but that's how it was. But now they can tease me, they can say whatever. I don't care anymore.
Okay, so this has to do also with the mindset shifts, because you don't associate any comments about your English with your self-worth.
No, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that after finishing New Sound, my first round, and going through this experience in New Sound and now in Beyond, and also my English mindset, so it has helped me a lot.
Mm.
And I think I'm different. I'm a different person. I'm not the same person I was before. Yeah.
So from that experience and transformation, what can you say to people who are where you were, let's say 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Ooh, this is a hard question, because everyone is different,
Mm.
and everyone has their own struggles. You know, uh,
What would you say
for
to Zoraida
oh my God.
that just graduated high school, or
Yeah, I will tell her to believe more in herself. Believe, because you're smart, you can do it, and it's possible. And at that moment in high school, I didn't have the support that I needed. Even my parents, they were always busy working, so I never felt that support
Mm.
that I wish I had. But if I had the opportunity to go back to my younger years, probably I will maybe do things differently. But I can't anymore. It's my past, and now I have to move on and live my life and live my present.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What was it like for your parents immigrating
So,
to a new country in English? Yeah, just
so my parents, they never actually had a problem, Hadar, because we were living in Miami, and
so it was
it
just
was
Spanish.
Spanish. So at work, so they didn't have any problem. We have everything we wanted in Miami. We can find anything, even in the supermarket in the 90s, you can find. So we didn't miss home. We were like living in our own country, and it was easy for them and for me. But my only struggles was English, because that's what I wanted. Maybe some people, they don't care, they don't want, you know, but that's what I wanted. I wanted to become fluent one day, and the meaning and the meaning of fluency for me was different back then. I thought that it was being fluent meant to be not. I mean, being fluent to me was not making mistakes, or speak like a native speakers, or something like that. That was my idea of fluency.
Yeah.
And it took me more than 20 years to finally realize that, that's not what fluency is. But
So
it,
what is fluency?
for me, fluency is to be able to convey my speech, and to feel understood, and to feel natural, to feel that this is who I am, this is my voice. So accept me for my voice, because
Mm.
this is who I am. I mean, I'm not gonna be pleasing people, you know, because some people, they make fun of you or your English or your accent. Because I still have a lot of people telling me, "Oh, but you've been living here in the States for many years and you still have an accent," you
Mm.
know. And it's hard, and I felt ashamed before of that before, but now I feel like I have overcome that belief that I had. Yeah, I don't believe.
And
In,
I bet that anyone who says that have never experienced
ooh,
anyone who says that has never experienced speaking a second language, because they don't know what it's like to speak a second
exactly.
language and to own or acquire a new accent, because it's not just, oh, you
It's
live
really
here.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really hard because people assume that just because you live in here, and that was also my assumption, that I thought that I was gonna be fluent and speak like a native speaker in 1 month,
Mm.
and that everything was gonna be like a piece of cake for me. But that was not the reality. Reality is different.
Yeah.
And sometimes maybe for some people maybe it's easier, but we are all different, and everyone has their struggles.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hmm.
So one of the things that I noticed about you is that you're like a very diligent student, and you're a really hard worker, both inside the program
Oh,
and very committed and passionate about the work. But it also seems that this is how you are in your real life. Like, I think when you started New Sound, you had 3 jobs. Now you have 2 jobs. You have 3 sons, right?
yes. Hmm.
Yeah. And like, what I remember most is that we had a meetup in New York, and you
Oh
came
my
all the way
God.
to Maryland in a car just to meet us in
Yes.
between shifts, and you gave me this beautiful gift that I wanted to wear,
Oh
to put
my
on
God.
like a necklace, that
Yeah.
I left it at home, and I was like, oh shoot, I wanted to put it on.
Yeah.
And that really touched me, like the effort. Everyone made a huge effort to come in, but
Yeah.
I remember you driving there, and which was really moving. uh,
I know. Yeah. It was a great experience because it was I think it was the first month of New Sound. I think it was last year, October. Is that?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure, if I should come or not, but I wanted to go. I was eager to go and meet you because that was my dream, to meet you in person. So I didn't want to go alone, and
Mm-hmm.
I asked my friend to come with me. So she came with me to New York, and I remember like driving and thinking about how everything is gonna be. I was thinking about meeting members in New Sound, and I remember that going through that tunnel when I was in the Uber driving to Manhattan. I remember like I was shaking. I was nervous because I was very shy, very insecure, but still I wanted to do it. So I got to New York, and then going through the elevator, and then when the door opened and I saw you and you gave me a big hug. So that was everything for me. That was one of the
Yeah,
best days of my life.
mine too. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. The food
um,
was delicious. I think I ate like 3 times. The bagels and salads, everything was
right.
good. Yeah.
So how do you use English today, and what do you do, if you want to share with us a little bit about how your life looks like now?
Oh my God. So I have like a crazy life because I have 2 jobs now. I am a CNA, like a nurse assistant. So I work at night. I have the night shift, and sometimes I work
Wow.
3 days, I'm sorry, or 2 nights or 3 nights, depending. And then during the day and during the week, I drive for Uber Connect, like Amazon. And that's what I do on my daily basis. I love driving, and sometimes I have reservation. So I pick up people, and now I'm talking to them nonstop.
Amazing.
I am not ashamed, to start the conversation anymore. I am, yeah, I feel more confident, and it's incredible to see how I'm changing and how my English is also changing, because I think that my English sounds different. My voice is different, and I'm not here to change my accent. I'm not too worried about that anymore. But I'm here to have fun
Yeah.
and to love myself, to enjoy my process. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm here.
And I think, like, even opportunities like speaking to strangers in an Uber, right? Like, you discover a a, a human being in a 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute ride, and that
Yeah.
is only possible because of the language.
It is. Yeah. And sometimes we have like long conversations. Sometimes I take riders to the airport. So it's like a 45 minutes drive, and
Mhm.
we talk nonstop.
Wow.
And, they always give me like a good compliment, and they tell me, oh, you're good. You're so cool. You're so nice. Uh, it's good. I feel very happy that now I feel more confident, to open my mouth and finally, start a conversation. I was not able to do that before. New sound,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm different.
It's such a privilege to be a part of your
Oh my
journey, and
God. Yeah,
also to just hear it now, like not the
I
full
know.
story, but parts of
Yeah, I have a lot of stories with Uber, but
it.
yeah, but
I can
it
imagine. Maybe you should write a book or start a TikTok telling stories,
Yeah,
Uber
it's
stories.
good stories, Halloween stories for
Oh,
Halloween
yeah.
story. Yeah, yeah.
Do you
But
come across a lot of drunk people at the end of the night, or no? Because you work
no,
during the day.
I don't drive during the night, and if I do, I only try to pick up females.
Good.
So I was driving for the last Halloween, and I did it because I had a few reservations, and I picked up this girl. She was drunk,
Mm.
and she threw up in my car.
Oh God. Because it has
She
to
was,
happen once as
oh
a
my God.
driver,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
thank God that it wasn't a lot, but the smell of these,
Oh God.
this is horrible. But she was apologizing, telling me, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna give you a good tip so you can clean your car. Don't worry. Please don't send an email to Uber, because if I send like a report, probably she's gonna be charged like $400.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So she was just, asking me not to do it. So I didn't do it, and she gave me a tip. So, and she was nice and cool. So, I didn't
What?
have the heart to do that.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
other memorable story do you have from an Uber drive?
Oh man, oh my God, I'm trying to remember. Like, girls are more crazy than boys, actually. Young girls are crazy. So I also pick up like college students, and sometimes they are kind of drunk,
Yeah.
and yeah, they can say things inside, in the car, and things that are not appropriate. But I mean, I have a few
Not for
stories.
this. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
We will let our
Yeah.
audience's imagination
Yeah.
to continue
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Nice.
it's cool. It's cool because I love driving, so I enjoy every ride that I make every day.
Wow. It's so wonderful to love what you do, because now you
Yeah.
have the driving and then also speaking to other people. I
Yeah,
think
I'm
that is
speaking, I come home, I stop, I come, I clean, I do my laundry, I go back, and that's my crazy life every day.
Mhm.
And I'm in Beyond, I'm in New Sound, so it's a lot, but I love what I'm doing. I think that I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. So I feel that I'm at the place that I have to be right now, and
Wow.
Beyond in New Sound is the best place for me.
Oh, well, it's
Yeah,
amazing to have you, and I'm so happy that this
thank
is where
you.
you're at. And Zoraida, thank you so much for sharing your story and opening up and, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I appreciate it, and thank you.
Thank you, Hadar. Thank you for
And
showing interest in my story.
yeah, what are your plans for the upcoming years?
My plans are, I always wanted to go back to school. That was
Mm,
my dream, that was my goal. And I never completed my university studies, so that was one of my dream. So I'm planning on going back. I'm I'm not young anymore, but that's not gonna stop me, you know. So I'm just getting prepared and preparing myself. Yeah, but I
and
think,
once you do, we're
yeah,
gonna get you back here so you can share that.
sure, of course. Thank you, Hadar.
Good. All right, Zoraida, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Hadar. It's my pleasure.
Mhm. Okay, bye.
All right, Zoraida, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. And everyone, thank you so much for watching this today. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day, and I will see you next week in the next video. Bye.